Alright YouTube, it's that time of the month where in about a week or so a lot of ban list predictions and fake ban list threads will be coming up and such, and then eventually we'll get the real ban list. But this is my take on the ban list and what I think could happen, not necessarily what will or what I want, but what I think will happen. I only have cards for pretty much banned and limited, so let's get on to it. First banned card is Monster Reborn. Konami always does the whole give us Monster Reborn for 6 months, get rid of it for 6 months, bring it back, all that stuff. I don't like cards that people win whenever they top deck, even though they have no right winning that match. And Monster Reborn is one of those cards, so I really think that it needs to go. It also takes away from the Lone Fire plays with Dandelion because plants are huge. And there's just so many floaters right now that make Monster Reborn even better than what it usually is. So that needs to go. Brionac. They're kind of making a replacement for this in Orient Dragon. It's not necessarily a replacement, but it's a much more balanced card than Brionac is, because Brionac can hit any card and bounce it, and Orient Dragon just banishes one synchro. So very limited use of Orient Dragon. I mean, Orient Dragon is still very good, but Brionac is pretty overpowered, and it enables OTKs, and nobody likes that, so another card to get rid of. Future Fusion. This card has a 1-card FTK whenever the Dark Elemental Hero comes out, the Fusion. So this card needs to go because nobody likes 1-turn FTKs with 1 card. Like, if you open this card, you win. Nah, that's pretty dumb. Sangan. The reason I say Sangan is because a ruling has come out that whenever you Tour Guide Sangan and you use Sangan for an Exceed and you send it to the graveyard with the Exceed monster, you get Sangan Search Effect. So if you summon Tour Guide, grab Sangan, Exceed into number 17 Leviathan Dragon, and pitch Sangan to make it go up to 25, instant Sangan Search, that's very, very broken. And I know that term gets thrown around a lot, broken, but that play is broken. It's very stupid. Sangan is very overpowered. It was overpowered even before that ruling. So I think now is the time to say goodbye. Giant Trunade. This is the one card everybody wants out of here. OTK Enabler, very hard to stop. There's pretty much 2 relevant cards to stop it in Solemn Judgment and Dark Bribe, and Dark Bribe's rarely used. And whenever Dark Bribe is used, it's usually thrown in a deck to stop Giant Trunade. So that's how you know the card's good and needs out of here. 1-for-1. This card opens up so many plays for so many decks. Not much to say about it. I mean, it brings out Treeborn, brings out Fishborg, brings out Spore, Glow Up Bulb. Pitch Dandelion with 1-for-1 is stupid. Mindmaster, OTK guy. There's an FTK based around that with Psychics, and nobody likes FTKs. Get out of here. Last card, Mind Control. This card is very stupid, especially with Exceeds coming out. Mind Control is never dead now that Exceeds are out. Whenever it was just tuners and stuff like that with Synchros, Mind Control was still very, very good, and a lot of people wanted it banned even before Exceeds, and now that Exceeds are out, this card needs to go. That's it for banned. A lot of people want Gateway of the Six Samurai banned, and I do too, but I really don't think they're going to, because in Legendary Collection 2, they're reprinting it as a common, and it was one of their like headlines on the collection, so I really don't think that that's going to get hit. Limited cards. Solemn Warning. This card's very overpowered. Stops any summon. The fact that you go... If you go first and you're playing something like TG or Gadgets or Gravekeepers, you set Spy, set 5 back row, and 1 or 2 of the cards are Solemn Warning. So it's like, okay, whatever you do right now, make your first turn play not that important, because if you do, I'm just going to warning it. So that's pretty dumb. Formula Synchron. This card is extremely good right now because of this card, which also is going to get limited, hopefully. It should be banned, but they're not going to limit it, but they're not going to ban it because it just came out 2 months ago. So Librarian is staying, but if Formula goes down to 1, it won't be as good. I mean, it's still going to be busted, but I mean, if you can't ban Librarian, might as well limit Formula to balance it out just a little bit. Trishula, this is a guarantee. Just decks are built around a synchro, and I don't think that's right. Fultrell. When I was making this list, I noticed that I didn't touch anything in Sabers, and whenever the format is slowed down, Sabers can just pile up the cards they need and then OTK with Fultrell and stuff like that. So I think putting Fultrell to 1 is probably a good thing. They could hit Dark Soul, but I don't think they will. Gravekeepers. Royal Tribute. This card's way too good. The fact that you go first turn, like I said, set Spy, set 3 back row, play Necro Valley, and play Royal Tribute, and then your opponent has like 2 cards to work with next turn while you have like a set Warning or Royal Depression down. A little unfair. Lone Fire Blossom. Plants have to get nuked sooner or later because they're just splashed in everything. And I think with the banning of 1-for-1 and Monster Reborn, limiting Lone Fire is plenty. Again, this is another card that should be banned, but I really don't think they're going to ban it because they don't want to absolutely kill the deck. They just want to, injure it a little bit. So with 1-for-1 and Monster Reborn and Lone Fire to 1, stops a lot of the Trish plays that plants make, so that's good. Pot of Avarice. This card is extremely overpowered with all the just Lone Fire, Dandelion, 1-for-1 into Spore, Armory Arm, remove Spore, remove Lone Fire for Spore, make Trish, Pot of Avarice turn 1 or turn 2. Very dumb. Everything uses this card. TGs use it, Gadgets use it, Plants use it, everything uses it. Put it to 1. Now the card that I want back so desperately, is Heavy Storm. The card in itself is very bad card design, but the way the game is right now, like, I saw it on a website on DGZ where someone said it's a necessary evil, and I completely agree. Like, this card is not good for the game in theory, just because mass destruction is it's never good. But the fact that people can set a Spy or play a floater in TGs or summon a Gadget and then set 5 back row and like have no consequence for it is extremely stupid, and Heavy Storm will cut down on that. People will be afraid to set 2. People will be afraid to set 3. So Heavy Storm, very good. And with Heavy Storm getting unbanned, I think MST needs to go to 1. Because if MST's at 2 or 3, people are going to be afraid to set anything because they can't set 1 because they'll most likely get MST'd, and they can't set 2 because if they set 2, then Heavy Storm gets them a +1. And that's pretty devastating. Also to 1, I don't have the cards with me, are Sheehan Smoke Signal, because Gateway isn't going to get hit, so Sheehan Smoke Signal needs to go to 1 to cut down on the consistency of turn 1 Sheehan, because that's pretty stupid. And whenever you're nuking plants, which is like pretty much the best matchup against Sam's, in a sense, you have to hit Sam's a little bit. And they're still very good. I mean, they're top in Nats, and in my opinion, I think they're going to win Worlds. But, yeah, so Sheehan Smoke Signal to 1, and then 6 Sam United to 2, and I think, or maybe Double-Edged Sword Technique Limited. Cut down on, multiple Sheehan's, like make Sheehan set Double-Edged Sword Technique, and then they can go into, like, Trish or another Sheehan. So I feel like that would help. Random stuff that I think they might do, even though I don't want them to do it, is put Pot of Duality to 2, because a lot of decks run 3, and they don't like when a lot of decks run the same card, but the card adds consistency and originality to deck design, so I really don't think it needs to go. I really hope they keep that at 3. Bottomless Trap Hole, probably stay at 2. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, guys, let me know what you think.